Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. I have a question for you. What if the reason you feel stuck isn't because you're unmotivated, but because you've been living in survival mode? What do you think about that one? Today's guest is Karma Quan, and she is the creator of Life Force Reset. I want to welcome Karma to the show.
Hey, so happy to be here and excited today to talk to you.
I am too, because most people don't realize that, oh, I'm just so unmotivated. I just don't want to do this. Um, it's really not that. It's something we tell ourselves. Because if we're in a survival mode, that means we don't want to reach out. We don't want to branch out because number one, we may not know what to do. So we kind of keep ourselves in this stuck. And then we do that. And it's like whatever you want to tell yourself, like I've done this before too. It's like, well, whatever you want to tell yourself, whatever works. But when you notice it and when somebody tells you, yeah, you're just in survival mode, girl or guy. It's just because you're scared. And that's basically what survival mode is all about. So I just want to ask you a couple of questions. It's like you said, most people don't need more motivation. They need to get out of survival mode. So how do you know when someone is living in survival mode, even though they don't recognize it?
Well, first of all, I am blessed with the ability to talk to my spirit guides. So I do help use the cards frequently to find out exactly what it is that's causing the problems they're having, what blocks they're dealing with. Sometimes, and how other people can recognize this easily. And the best example that I can use, I would say, would be when I didn't have a job and was a single parent supporting two kids and didn't know what I was going to do. Both my parents passed away. So like, there's no backup plans here, folks. If I don't do it, nobody's going to. So in reality, what I wanted to do was cry all day and stay in bed, but I had to be a mother. And that was more important to be able to get out of bed and not let my kids not know and, let them have a good day or whatever it was. So I did allow myself to think about it 3 times a day. I could think about in the morning before I got them up. Then when they were taking a nap, I would let my mind cry it out, write down, this is okay. Like, this is going to change. I make myself right. I know it's going to work out. I know it's going to work out. And, this job's around the corner, whatever it was. And then again, after they went to bed. So that's where I first started using 3 times a day for myself personally to get to so that I would not think about these things when I was trying to be mom. And it was easier for my brain to understand, well, I can think about it later. And if that didn't work, I would make myself do burpees because I hated to do burpees more than anything in the world. So if I had to do those, by the time I was done, my mind was not going back there again. So those were some of the forms that I used to get myself out of survival mode. And guess what? It always worked out. I got a job right at the last minute, and was able to not miss any mortgage payments, like not do anything. And I believe 100% now the reason was because I wanted to be mom. So I was keeping myself out of survival mode that way. And it was just trying to put on the front for my kids, but that is the frequency I believe we need to be in to be able to have the universe respond to what it is we want. We have to, some people can pray and give it to God and know God's going to take care of it. That is perfectly okay. If your mind is trusting in that and knowing God will take care of it, great, perfect, that works. But some of us can't let that go, or we won't, we still, well, we prayed to God, but we're still stressing about it. We're still trying to figure it out nonstop all day, all day. And when your brain is spiraling, I like to use that because energy is always in my mind a vortex that goes around. So when your mind is spiraling in that frequency, you're pushing away what it is you want instead of attracting it.
So the people that you see, and obviously they're saying, I don't know what's going on. I'm just not motivated. I can't do this or do that. And then you can definitely get an answer from their behavior or their
Mhm.
lack of doing something. I mean, you have to have some kind of energy go out. And then that's how you can recognize that they are in that survival mode. And it's really, once you realize it, it's really kind of a worthless place to be because you're in limbo. Nothing happens. And then you wonder why nothing is happening. And then nothing happens because you wonder why nothing is happening. So it's that, endless,
Loop.
merry-go-round that you are, it's like something's got to happen. Why isn't it happening? And again, whatever you want to tell yourself. But when you can look at it and say, well, you're in survival mode. So we got to get you out of that. And what is the problem? Is it fear? The number one thing that we go through is fear. Okay, fear keeps us down. Like our ego voice will just scare us to death. And we'll just listen to that because it's like, oh my God, we're just thinking. But that's where we get ourselves into trouble when we start thinking instead of feeling,
Need to get
right?
out of our heads
Get
about
out of
things.
our heads.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What was the turning point that made you realize how you got out of your survival mode in order to help other people?
So, which is a very, very interesting, very interesting point. Because I kept studying different ways to train your mind, and to change your mind is like to change your life, right? So, in studying and learning about like the 369 method and how Nikola Tesla says that those numbers are the universe. So I brought that into my teachings because it went along with what I did to myself when I was getting myself out of survival mode. That goes along with that with the 3 times a day. So that is like it started all clicking to me like, oh wow, you was already doing this and didn't know what you were doing. And so just studying different people and the way that they think and believe. And people who say, like, we look at our like financial DNA and our financial contracts that go back to what our parents say. The only way to get something, you had to work your tail off for it, right? So we have that in our mind that nothing's going to come easy. We're going to have to work really hard to get there. And so you're just working so hard and chasing something so hard that you're chasing it away. And that's the crazy part because you would think the harder we work and the more that we put out
Mhm.
there, the more that the universe would give us. It's not always true. You have to make the steps, but you also have to let the universe work.
Do you think the conditioning, that we're brought up in, you have to work hard in order to get anything, nothing comes to you easy, okay? You always have to work hard. Well, I've had a couple of things come to me without any kind of effort
Mhm.
because I just put that out to the universe and I said, you know what? I really need this, this, or this. Thank you very much. And show me how to do it or bring it to me one way or the other. So the old saying, nothing comes easy. I think we could probably, put that in the archives because when we're growing up, we're conditioned into thinking a lot of ways. And obviously, some of them are to keep you in the scarcity mode. Okay. And you have a lot to say about scarcity, I could tell.
Yes, ma'am. A lot about about things that we were taught that not only keep us in that scarcity mindset, but believing that we don't have access to source or life force, which is why I got called my method life force reset, because we can connect to that frequency and that energy, and anybody can do it. And that's what's crazy. And once you've recognized that and are able to um and what I say is, as soon as the negative thoughts come in your head, or as soon as you think this, change the frequency. If you can pick up on that, change your frequency. And because I'm ADHD and I've done a lot of training, a lot of people talk about meditating, or, a lot of breath work, which are all great things and they all do work. But given that I'm not a meditator, because my mind is
Right.
constantly moving, I'm going, how do I know if I'm not thinking about anything, if I'm thinking about
Not
having
thinking
things?
about something. Yes.
So my mind's like that. It doesn't really clear out and meditate. So you can change the frequency and change your energy by clapping your hands. And that can help clear your energy and change your frequency by getting rid of negative energy that you're holding on to.
Actually, I've never heard of that, just clapping your hands to get rid of that. Um, I'm sure there's tons of ways that you can help people um, through your method that you developed. And that's how people can come to you. I mean, you are do you give readings? You are a psychic, also. I find that when we have the psychic abilities and we also have, it's almost like a innate way to counsel also because we see it, we feel it, we know what they're going through, and then of course we get the answers from their people
Right.
in order to how to help someone.
Mhm.
So we're kind of one step ahead. And when isn't it the most wonderful thing when you see people and you see the light bulb come on? It's like, oh my gosh, that I never thought about that because you were in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, you can't think about anything except survival, which means, um, what is that? Shelter in place.
Yes.
Okay, which means don't do anything. Just have all your stuff around you just in case. Okay, just in case. what?
Right.
So, I mean, living
Exactly.
is all about the what ifs, the how-tos, the wherefores. It's not about sitting there going, just in case. I'm going
Yeah.
to hold on to this and I'm going to stay stuck.
Yeah. And
I,
it's very unfortunate that we have been brought up that way. But
right,
I honestly think that being able to learn to clear your frequency and change your energy allows your logical brain to work more instead of your emotional brain. So you
right,
can look at things more logically and to get out of that frequency and do that even with our relationships. If we realize that we are having all in our emotions and our relationships and our conversations and we're not in our logical mind having those conversations. I relate it to me feeling backed in the corner like a little chihuahua, and I'll just start spitting things out my mouth to get out of that situation
uh-huh,
that I don't mean just because I don't like that feeling. But if we'd have a reset moment and get out of my feelings, and I'm an empath. So it's very easy for me to get in my feelings and get into other people's feelings and be all emotional. So it's very hard for me to pull myself out of that. But that's what I've had to learn to do is understand. Okay, now I'm in my feelings now. Let's get out of there. That's why I do not like to know anything before I do my readings. I don't
oh,
want to know your
yes,
name. I don't want to know anything because I want to be able to trust what I feel through the energy. So without my brain trying to change the situation or give you the answers that maybe you want to hear. So
yes,
a lady had asked me if her husband was leaving her and her children next week. And in my mind, I'm going, I don't want to tell her yes. Like, I bet everything about it was so positive and the cards were so positive. So, in my mind, I'm not wanting to tell her this. So, I started out so cautiously. I'm like, well, first of all, I want to say that everything is positive. Like, I feel everything is positive about this. But, I got into, yes, he is leaving thinking this is going to devastate her. And instead, she was very happy because it was a domestic violence situation. So, again, that's where you have to just trust the message that you're getting, right? When we get those messages and deliver it, however, in our mind, we think it is. So, that's why I like to know as little as possible so I can trust without my logical or my brain trying to get involved sometimes. So that's how I like to work, knowing as little as possible first.
yeah, that makes total sense. Now,
Yeah.
Karma, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. I really would like other people to know more about you and your reset method. How can people reach you?
The easiest way is you can go to my website at karmaquantaro.com. It's CarmaQuantarot.com. And I have a lot of self-help on there, which are videos and a lot of things that you can learn to understand your frequency. I have, workbook that you can take that can help you understand if you're in, if you have this financial DNA or financial contract mode of mind, to ask the right questions to see if that's where you are to be able to help you help yourself. So even if you're not, with me or you don't have to see me. I want people to learn how to help themselves as well and to not try to use me. Like, don't use me as a crutch. I'm here to help you, but help you
Right,
to help yourself
right.
so that you do not need me. So that's always my goal is to do that. So I try to give as much advice and as many of my methods as I can to everyone to help them be able to help themselves if they don't want. It's not everybody wants to talk about these things, right? I understand that. I get that. That's why I have it available with, not asking anything. So you can just go use it. So it's all there. Or if you'd like to book a session with me there, you can do that as well. But there's plenty of material in there as well to help you help yourself. If that's what you.
And there you have it. Are you in survival mode? Go to Karma's website, check it out, see what she has to say on there, and give her a call. Get in touch with her and see how you can get your life going. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to my next guest and to giving you what it is that you need. I'm Cassandra. Bye for now.
Thank you for having